The reservation point is the point beyond which the negotiator prefers to abort the negotiation rather than sign the agreement. It is therefore the limit that negotiators set for themselves, the point not to be exceeded. The reservation point has several functions. In particular, it serves as a reference against which the proposals that are put on the table are being compared. Proposals that are better than the reservation point are likely to be accepted by negotiators, although this does not mean that they necessarily will. On the other hand, proposals that are worse than the reservation point must in any case be rejected. If the reservation point represents a limit, then there should be no question of exceeding it. In this sense, the second function of the reservation point is to protect negotiators from deals that could be disastrous for them. Setting a reservation point before entering into negotiation is a way of ensuring that we do not go home with a harmful agreement or one that we cannot honor. However, respecting a reservation point is not always easy. We are sometimes tempted to go further than our own limit, especially when we are caught up in the heat of the moment. This is called escalation of commitment. To understand the escalation of commitment bias, imagine the following situation. You live a 15-minute walk from the city center. By bus, it takes you less than 5 minutes. One morning, you hesitate between to walk or take the bus. To decide, you check the bus timetable and see that the bus is due to arrive in 3 minutes. You decide to wait rather than walk. Except that 8 minutes later, the bus is still not there. It's likely that the bus has simply been cancelled, in which case you'd better start walking because the next one isn't before 20 minutes. On the other hand, maybe the bus is just a little late. It would be really silly for you to start walking now. Imagine it passing you by as soon as you turn the corner. Anyway, you decide to wait a little longer. The escalation of commitment is like this. Faced with an action taken that has not borne fruit, individuals find it hard to mourn their first action and the investment they put into it. Rather than abandoning the action that seems doomed to failure, they repeat the action and increase their investment. This is what happens when, for example, a nation sends its military troops abroad to end the conflict, and seeing that far from decreasing the conflict, it actually escalates it, the nation nevertheless decides to send more and more troops. This is also what happens at auctions. The more people have bid on an item, the more likely they are to bid again and again for the coveted item. Sometimes going so far as to make a bid that they cannot really afford or that is far beyond the actual market value of the item. Well, that's what the reservation point is primarily for. It serves as a guard against the escalation of commitment, against all the bad reasons that push us to always want to go further, beyond the limits of reason.